This lesson should help you review adding fractions, which is something that comes up quite often in mathematics. This first picture right here, you see we have a circle that's divided into 8 pieces. The blue part would represent, well, think about that for a second. What fraction is shaded? You probably said 3/8 because 3 out of the 8 pieces are colored blue. Similarly, you can look here at the yellow part and you'll notice that 2 out of the 8 are yellow, so we would say that that was 2/8. If you put those two together, you will of course get what you see here in green, and you guessed it, that's 5/8. Mathematicians typically would express this fact by writing an addition statement. 3/8 plus 2/8 equals 5/8. You put that together, and that should be a review of material that you've seen in the past. Okay, so for your first homework problem, get a clean sheet of paper, put your name, the date this is assigned, and homework number 1 in the upper right hand corner. Please write and circle the problem number as I've done, and then copy the problem and answer it. Please use pencil because in class, if you choose to make corrections, you should do that in pen. If you don't have this problem copied down, then pause the video and copy it down because I'm about to go to the next screen. Adding fractions has more steps if the denominators are different. If you look at this picture up here with the blue and the green, you might have to think a little about what fraction is shaded green, but if you had a few pieces of that size, you can imagine that it would take 3 of them to fill the circle, so that piece is 1/3. The blue piece is probably the first fraction you learned, 1/2. If you put those two together, you get, well, look at that. They look the same. You get 5/6. Again, mathematicians express this with an addition statement. 1/2 plus 1/3 equals 5/6. It might not be immediately obvious how you would figure that out numerically, but the first step to figure it out is to realize that halves and thirds can both be renamed as sixths. If you look at the 1/2 in blue, if you think of it as sixths, there's 3/6 shaded in. And if you think of the part that you see in green, it's 2/6. And then just like the previous problem, you add the two numerators, 3 plus 2 is 5, and you keep the same denominator, 6. Here's one that I'm going to work out without pictures. So the first thing to do is think, all right, well, I've got 3/4 and I've got 5/6. Those denominators are different. So I need to, hang on. I need to start by finding a common denominator because you can't add fourths with sixths. So I think about 4 and 6, and I realize 4 goes into 12. And 6 also goes into 12. So 4 times 3, 12. 3 times 3 is 9. To turn a 6 into a 12, it's times 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. And I get 19/12, which, before you get to Algebra 1, a lot of times teachers ask you to rewrite that as a mixed number, 1 and 7/12. You're allowed to leave your answers in proper fractions. 19/12 is fine with me. It's always a nice touch if you circle your answer. Makes it easier for whoever's looking at your work to find it. So that's a practice I will try to model for you. Here's 3 more problems. I'd like you to write them down and solve them as homework. Please come to class next time with these problems completed. You'll notice that number 4 is a little bit different because it's got a decimal. That's something that will happen frequently this year. There'll be maybe one problem at the end that's a little bit more challenging. Give it your best shot. I'm sure a lot of you will figure that one out, and we'll go over it next time. And that's it.